Hi folks, Sty here. Time for a Sty story. Okay, this is a little different. This Sty story. I don't think it'll go too long, but you might get a kick out of it. This one is titled "When the Bells Toll." Now, just as we're going to get started in the story, Sty is going to remind everybody at the end of the video there'll be a subscribe button up here, and there'll be some videos that you might want to catch up on. And if you can't wait, right down below is the subscribe button. I should say over there. Please subscribe. Thumbs up if you will. Hit the bell if you want to be notified when Sty's going live stream or putting up a new video. And with that, let's get on with the story. When the Bells Toll. Now, I'm going to be talking about a medical condition. Okay? Now, anybody that has suffered this condition, my sympathies. Oh my Lord, my sympathies. So don't anybody take this wrong, and I will be chuckling about it, even though it is such a serious issue. Because when life throws us a fastball, we got to be ready for it. And one of the best things we can do after the fact is look back and say, I made it through, now I can laugh about it. So, please, I don't want anybody to be insulted at all that I'm touching on this topic. I'm only touching on this topic because I have a personal encounter with this topic. Okay? Okay. And you'll find out what the medical condition was towards the end of the story. Okay, back in the 70s, mid-70s, I suppose, my ex-wife and I, we had a small farm. And we were just hobby farming, basically homesteading, basic homesteading. We had all the critters, I had a steer, I had a heifer, I had geese, I had chickens, I had turkeys, I had everything you could find on a farm. We had it, including way too big of a garden. Well, my beef steer was just a calf. I was just starting to raise him. And we had a couple of hogs, and they were just feeder pigs. They weren't anywhere near ready to butcher. Well, so hunting, to me, was a necessity. So it was deer hunting season, and I didn't have a deer rifle at the time. I had all kinds of guns. Not a single deer rifle in my collection. Shotguns galore, I had pistols. I think I had 2 or 3 .22 long rifles, and that was it. No deer hunting gun. Well, it didn't matter really, because where we lived at that time was in Minnesota, and we were west of the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul. And that whole region, you're only allowed to hunt deer with a slug gun, a shotgun with a deer slug. So, I hadn't shot slugs through my shotguns forever. So I decided, well, I should at least take one of the shotguns out and shoot some slugs through it to make sure I could hit a target. So I went out and I bought myself one of them really nice deer targets, about the size of a normal deer. Set that bugger out there because I was going to be hunting from a deer stand. I set it out about 50 yards. And I got out there, and I had this old Sears and Roebuck break open single shot 12 gauge. Go out there with a pocket full of deer slugs. Pop one in there. Now that old Sears and Roebuck 12 gauge didn't have no butt pad on it. It just had a piece of solid plastic right on the wooden stock butt. I went out there like a dummy, and I shot about 12 or 14 rounds through that gun at that target. And I was on target. It was, it was keeping a good pattern. But oh my gosh, the impact. Oh, and your whole body just shook. Oh, shooting that big, well, I shouldn't say big, that Sears Roebuck 12 gauge was actually a light gun. But shooting that heavy round through it, oh man, the recoil was ridiculous. Well, I'm going out to hunt the next morning. And we only had I think it was like a 3-day hunting season. I get out to the deer stand the next morning with that single shot shotgun with a 12 gauge deer slug shoved in its tail, and I'm up in that deer stand, and I am freezing. It's kind of like a drizzling, freezing snow mix. And I'm up there for about an hour, hour and a half, and thinking, boy, oh boy, is the venison really worth it? And then here comes this little buck comes walking out. He was like a 6-pointer. Eastern count. So, little basket rack. Well, he's coming around on the wrong side of me, so I couldn't aim at him until he got around closer to the front. So I readied myself, and as he came around the front, now my deer stand, mind you, wasn't a commercial one. I had just propped an old wooden ladder up against a tree, and I had made a wooden platform, nailed it to the tree, big enough to stand on. So I'm standing on this tiny little platform. It's not much bigger than the footprint of my boots. And as that deer come around, I'm following him, and I squeezed off. Well, the platform was icy and slippery. I spun right around, darn near faced, I had my back to the tree, spun so far around I was darn near facing the tree before I went off the platform. And I fell between 10 and 12 feet and hit that ground just hard, just hit it hard. Knocked the wind right out of me. It took about 5 minutes to get kind of normal again. And I get up and I look around, and there's this little buck. I managed to take him down. So I field dressed him, and I'm just dizzy as sin. And I drag him all the way back to the farm. Get him hung up out in the garage. I'll butcher him tomorrow. Go in the house, everything's fine, and I'm just relaxing for the evening. And everything's going good. Now comes the next morning. This is where the story gets good. This is where you find out what really happened. Next morning I get up. I wake up and I stretch and I'm yawning, and I look over and the ex-wife is laying there, and her eyes look like they're the size of baseballs. And I go, "What's wrong with you?" And she goes, "Oh my gosh, you need to look in the mirror." She said, "I think we need to call an ambulance." I go, "What?" And I got up and I walked into the bathroom and I looked in the mirror. I came running back. I said, "You got to take me to a doctor right away. I could die." The whole left side of my face had gone completely limp. Just sagging, just completely limp. my lip was way down by my chin. My eye was all sagging. Looked like I had a major stroke. So I have her rush me to the doctor. Doctor checks me out and says, "Oh, that's Bell's palsy." I go, "What?" And he goes, and he's the one that used the term. He goes, "Well, this is what happens when the bells toll." I go, "What are you talking about?" He says, "Have you done anything? You been struck in the face or anything lately?" I said, "No." He said, "Stress or a concussion at all to the head?" And I go, "Oh, well, day before yesterday I said I shot a dozen rounds or more out of a 12 gauge shotgun with deer slugs." I said, "That kicked like a mule." I said, "Then yesterday I fell out of a deer stand and hit the ground really hard." And he started to kind of chuckle. He says that's what triggered it. You have nerves, the nerves that control your face, they run through your cheekbones. And if they inflame, they get damaged in any way, they'll swell. And it cuts off the nerves, and your face will go limp. Sometimes it doesn't go away. He told me that, and I'm like, "Oh no." He goes, "Yeah, he says, "I have to let you know, there is a possibility it will not correct itself." He said, "But we're going to put you on a very strong anti-inflammatory right away, and hopefully it'll restore itself." Well, fortunately, it did. Within about a week and a half, it started to get normal again. Then it finally was totally normal again. So, so yeah, when the bells toll, Sty gets it. Yep, Bell's palsy. Never saw that one coming. And no, I'm not taking a single shotgun, 12 gauge, without a butt pad on it and shoot no deer slugs through it ever again. Ain't happening. Ain't happening. I'm certain that, along with falling out of that tree, is what did it to me. Well, there you go. There's a Sty story for you. I'm glad that you all tagged along. Hey, don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, right up here, click on my ugly mug and you be attached to my channel. And then, over here, there's some videos you can check out. But this is Sty North saying, thanks for tagging along, and you all have a very nice day. Bye-bye.